All right, we're going to be talking about this full moon in Libra happening on April 12th. If you've been watching my videos and keeping up to date on the transits, you'll know and have been putting in the work to ace this exam that is this full moon. And what do I mean by that? We're going to be talking about that and diving deeper into this transit specifically. If you are looking to get a reading with me, you can click the link below and access my reading portal and book a reading with me. Also, all of my links are down there. I go live every Sunday at 4 p.m. PST on Twitch to talk about the upcoming transits. On top of that, all of my socials are down there and an invitation to my Discord community if you want to join and be around like-minded people. All right, with all that housekeeping out of the way, let's talk about this full moon. I've been really sitting with the energy of this full moon, and if I'm being 100% honest, I recorded a video yesterday and more came through, and so it wouldn't be me if I didn't authentically deliver exactly what is coming through with this transit. So if you have been watching my videos, especially these eclipse portal videos, so I have a lunar eclipse video and a solar eclipse video, and this is essentially the assignment that is coming from all of the work that we've been putting in with these eclipses and also with our retrogrades. We've had Mercury retrograde, we've had Venus retrograde. By the time this video is out, they are both going direct, and there is a very specific energy with the fact that Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus goes direct at the time of this full moon. So there's a lot of tangents and rulerships that are happening within this chart that I'm looking at. If you see me look off to the side, I'm just looking at the chart. There's so much going on here. There is so much going on, and I'm excited to dive into it and translate the things that have been coming through with this energy. And also, we're going to jump into how this is affecting you personally with your rising sign. So, the first thing to note is the fact that the sun and Chiron are conjunct with this full moon. So as always, full moons are essentially when the moon is opposing the sun and it's at its full illumination. Full moons bring in this energy of completion, of reflection, of celebration, of energy coming to a peak moment. It's a climax, okay? So with this full moon in Libra, it's really drawing our attention to our relationships and reflecting on relationships. Now, if we have the full moon in Libra, that means on the other end we have the sun in Aries. Chiron, hanging out with Aries here, is an asteroid. Chiron is the wounded healer and is essentially this sort of pain point that we have within us that we can only heal by helping other people with those wounds. So, what does that mean for this full moon? We are having our attention, the sun, the ego, what is shining brightest, shine. And I just heard a hawk cry out, so confirmation from the nature spirits of this illumination that's happening here. We are paying attention to the parts of us that are extremely tender. These last few months have been a tenderizing experience where we are truly, truly getting closer to and touching upon the parts of us that have been hurting. And it's sort of this excavation process that we've been going through with tending to our wounds by essentially having things in our external life show up for us to work on these things. Now, Aries is our ego. It is our identity. It's how we show up in the world. And so we're really presented with the opportunity with this full moon to confront our egoic wounds. So a part of you that you've needed to let go of that has been going through this process of death and rebirth with the fact that we've had so many planets transiting between Pisces and Aries. So death, rebirth, this whole portal process that we're in. It's like the birth canal. I can't stress that enough. In my past videos, I dive deeper on this. Not only is the sun conjunct Chiron, but it's also squaring Mars. Mars is in Cancer right now. Mars is not comfortable in Cancer. It's essentially taking the warrior and setting them in and like telling them to take a bath and relax. And there's like a lot of uncomfortability, a lot of emotions surfacing at this time. So it's not a direct square per se. The sun is at 23 degrees and Mars is at 27. So it's a loose square, but it's close enough for me that there's going to be some discomfort and irritation that comes up with this. That is sort of letting the things come to the surface. Like if you didn't get dirt in the wound, you might not notice it. You might not notice that it's infected, that it needs to be looked at, that it needs to be tended to. Okay? So on the opposite side, we've got the moon in Libra. The moon is ruled by Cancer, which means this Mars that we have in Cancer is ruled by this full moon. So there's a lot of things moving back and forth and energy that is interplaying with each other. So it is kind of like this, a bit of a destined moment for us to look at these things. Like I prefaced, full moons are all about illumination. This full moon in Libra is granting you the opportunity to look in the mirror, and that mirror might be the mirror of another person. It is more than likely to be another person that brings these things up because Libra is all about relationship and partnership. So there is this sort of energy that is coming to culmination within your connections. And again, I'm going to dive deeper into this where it's happening in your chart with your rising sign, but this is ultimately the energy that's coming up on the collective of the fact that we ourselves are facing our wounds within relationship and our self-identity within relationships. We've been working on this energy for the last 18 months as the eclipses have finally shifted signs into Pisces and Virgo, but they were previously, we just had our last solar eclipse within the sign of Aries and Libra. And so this is essentially, like I prefaced at the start of this video, this is our exam. This is our opportunity to apply everything that we've been working on in the last 18 months. So it might be, and I can feel my body like getting heated, and that's that Aries energy, and it's like truly sticking up for yourself. Really like looking at the parts of you that may have self-sabotage situations where your ego has been attached to certain identities that no longer serve you going forward, and taking ownership of wanting that change, of wanting to be somebody different. And within relationships, and my body's tingling as I'm in this because I get to a point where I'm strictly just channeling these planets and the energy that's coming forward. This full moon in Libra is bringing up this opportunity for you to choose different. And relationships, especially if these are long-standing relationships, if it's a relationship with your siblings, with your community, depending on where it's at within your chart, there are people that probably have known this past version of you, right? So this past version of you is being reflected in the people around you because you're outgrowing those circumstances. You're evolving. And this is the point and the highlighting moment, the climax of, am I going to continue to be this person, to play into my wounds, or am I willing to look this person in the eyes and say, like, I'm different, I've changed, I'm sorry, this is not who I am anymore, whatever it may be. We're getting the opportunity to do this, which I personally think is such a beautiful chance for us to get closer to ourselves, to really embrace change, and to actually take tangible action and make changes. I was calling this, there was a specific word that I was calling this energy, and I wrote it down here on my notes. I've been calling this kind of portal that we're in is active initiation. So it's like all these things within our external circumstances have been coming up for us to really confront our fears and the things that are keeping us playing small. We've gotten the opportunity with Venus retrograde, with Mercury retrograde, to really reflect and refine and get very clear on what it is we want to bring forward into this next iteration of our life. And this full moon is giving us the chance to actually embody those changes. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this energy. So if you're feeling this energy, drop a comment, or if you're resonating, like, subscribe, all of those things. That helps my word get out to those who may resonate with it, and it supports me and what I'm doing. So thank you for doing that. Now we're going to jump into the rising signs. All right, Aries risings. This full moon is illuminating your 7th house. This natural energy of what I just shared is tenfold for you. So this is truly happening within the relationship axis of self versus other, Aries versus Libra. So there is this process where you are getting the reflection of your relationships, of who you are in relationships, and actually truly getting the opportunity to confront this energy. All right, for my Taurus risings, this is happening in your 6th house of routine, of structure, of discipline within your day-to-day life. Now, this full moon is illuminating where these routines may be outdated, where you need to change and shift things. We're getting the opportunity to, how I'm seeing this, is maybe other people might have other routines and ways of doing things that are okay. And then it's okay for you to let other people help you with these routines, or shift and change your direction with how you navigate your mind, body, spirit connection. There is this reflection that's happening within your 12th house where you're aligning your spirituality and your beliefs and bringing them and integrating them with this routine. So allowing there to be a little bit more of an intuitive flow there. All right, for my Gemini risings, this is happening in your 5th house. You are truly allowing your creations, your fun, how you express yourself and your creativity is really being illuminated. And you are getting the opportunity and the opposition of peer pressure, of the 11th house energy, where there is a sort of energy of, is what you are creating following what you truly desire, or are you doing it to appease the status quo of society, of the algorithm? There's this opportunity for you to reflect and confront on what it is you truly desire to bring into this world, and where it can come from an authentic place of what you've been cultivating the last 18 months. Okay, for my Cancer risings, this full moon is affecting your 4th house. This is all about home environment, family. This has to do with ancestral processing as well. With this full moon happening here, you're really reflecting on this axis of the 10th house, which is where the sun is, and the 4th house, which is where the moon is, where your identity out in the world is really being confronted and questioned by the family experience. Is this truly what you want? How can you step into embodying this new identity that you've been cultivating out in the world into the home environment? And you're going to get the opportunity to truly step into that being within the nuclear family dynamic. This might be confronting for past parts of you, especially ancestrally. There could be a reoccurring pattern that you are breaking free from by truly choosing something that you are deeply passionate about and going for that. Okay, for my Leo risings, this full moon is happening and illuminating your 3rd house, which is all about communication and the mental realm. There's been a lot of focus on essentially kind of scrubbing the mental realm clean and letting go of thought processes that no longer serve you, and how you're talking about yourself. So there's going to be this reflection of the parts of you that have been diving into learning and growing, and especially evolving around higher learning and beliefs and religion. So you may have made a shift in how you are taking in your belief systems, and now you're getting the opportunity to truly use your voice in those areas, and no longer backing down and following the status quo of how you should approach these subjects. You're getting the opportunity to truly speak about these things, or you might be challenged to, it feels like kind of a debate energy where you're actually getting the opportunity to apply these beliefs into what you say. And I'm getting your channel message feels a little bit longer with this. I'm getting Don Miguel Ruiz, his 4 agreements of the word, and how the word is a double-edged sword. You're really seeing the power of that you can speak beautiful magic into the world or black magic, depending on how you wield that sword of your voice. This is your opportunity to make the shift and the change that you've been working on the last 18 months. All right, for my Virgo risings, this is happening within your 2nd house. Your 2nd house represents your body, your values, money, all of those kind of tangible things, the 5 senses. With the sun and Chiron being in your 8th house, it's really challenging you to bring in and release. There's more of a release feeling with this 8th house energy. Releasing old patterns, releasing old beliefs that no longer are carrying you forward. And this is going to directly affect your physical reality. So your belief around money, around possessions, around this tangible realm, what if it could be different? And you have been really looking at those things the last 18 months and slowly cultivating a change. And this is your assignment, whether things happening in your external environment are bringing this to the surface for you to actually agree with these structures and values that you've been changing within yourself. Also, for Virgo risings, the way you relate to your body might be changing and coming to your attention, that it is no longer an obsession for you, that you can actually just be. And same goes for money and for your values. You don't have this, you're letting go of control around trying to hold on so tightly to the physical world. Libra risings, this is happening in your 1st house. That has to do with the ego and your identity. You're truly getting the opportunity to look in the mirror of your patterns within relationships. You get the opportunity to take radical responsibilities for the parts that you've played within your relationship dynamics. There are going to be some tender moments that come up here with the Sun and Chiron conjunct in your 7th house, where you are looking at your past wounding within relationships and what you are no longer going to tolerate going forward within your relationships. All right, for Scorpio risings, this is happening in your 12th house. This is all about undoing. This is all about beliefs. There is a highlighting and a reflection happening within your spiritual realm where you are truly stepping into the area and reflecting into letting go and letting God. With bringing in the theme of relationships, with this being a full moon in Libra, it really feels like no longer having expectations or attachments to the relationships that you have in your life and actually learning the lessons from them and seeing the toxic patterns, because 12th house is all about addictive patterns and getting lost in the sauce of relationship. And for you guys, this full moon being here, you're able to look and dive deeper into surrendering to releasing the patterns within your relationships. And also, there's a lot to do, especially with the Sun and Chiron in your 6th house. A lot of control is coming up with your routine and how you navigate health and mind, body, spirit connections. And this feels like you are finally handing the wheel over to God, essentially, to trust that what's in your best interest will be. And it might be totally confronting for you to surrender that control to something other than yourself. All right, for my Sagittarius risings, this is happening and illuminating your 11th house. 11th house is all about your community, your circles, connections, and also humanitarianism. This is bringing in this reflection of the people that you surround yourself with. With the Sun and Chiron being in your 5th house, it's really bringing this like tenderness and softness and wounding within your creativity. And you're really recognizing the people around you, with the moon being in your 11th house. And are they supporting you in your dreams and what you want to bring up? And you're really reflecting on, it feels like the concept of like the people that you are closest to, the 5 people that you are closest to, are a reflection of you. And you're really looking at those people that you surround yourself and recognizing, are these people that I want to take into the next chapter of my life? Or is this the opportunity to end those friendships? All right, for my Capricorn risings, this full moon is illuminating your 10th house. That means the Sun and Chiron are hanging out in your 4th house and really bringing a tenderness and attention to where you have been looking at your wounds within family dynamics. This 10th house illumination, you are actually getting the opportunity to reflect on that which it is that is calling you forward into the world. So whether that is certain people that you look up to or people that are actually doing the things that you wish to do within the world and seeing those and making the shifts and changes within yourself to actually go for those dreams, to put yourself into a space where you can actually have those things. So it's going to be this confronting energy of, I'm not where I want to be right now, but what can I do and what can I release in the 4th house in these wounds so that I can go into that energy. My Aquarius risings, this is happening in your 9th house of beliefs, of higher learning, of education. So that means that the Sun and Chiron are hanging out in your 3rd house of communication, which is bringing this tenderness and awareness around how you've been speaking about yourself and how you've been thinking about yourself. There is a wound around negative thinking that has been kind of on the forefront of your mind the past couple days of, negative self-talk. And with the moon illuminating your beliefs and all of this, it's bringing the opportunity and a close confrontation around how do your beliefs support this? And it's giving you the opportunity to really see where you want to challenge yourself to grow, whether that is studying something new or embarking on something new. Like, these parts are coming to your attention so that you can evolve and grow by learning, by studying, by exploring new areas, whether that's traveling, whether that is learning a new religion or something that is entirely new. Okay, for my Pisces risings, I'm a little out of breath. My cat was being chaotic, but we're here, we're back. For you, this is happening within your 8th house. That means the Sun and Chiron are hanging out in your 2nd house and really bringing attention to the tenderness around your values, around money, around your body. And it's bringing this illumination to truly letting go. You are getting the opportunity to confront death around your values. The moon illuminating your 8th house really is bringing in this deepening and concentrated energy to look at things from a new perspective, whether that is people bringing up different circumstances or sudden changes happening within the value realm or your body, or it brings in this aspect of mortality, of really seeing that this time is finite, and how are you going to choose to navigate this? How are you going to choose to show up in the world, within your body, within your values, where you place your physical, tangible resources in, right? We're in this physical realm that we get to interact with. Where are you energetically putting yourself or attaching yourself to? So you're really confronting this and getting the opportunity to see just how delicate life is. If you have made it to the end of my video, for whatever reason you watched all the rising signs, thank you. I appreciate it. If you haven't yet followed me on my other channels, they're all linked below. My readings are open right now for April into May. So if you're looking to get a reading with me, you can grab one in the links down below. Also, make sure to join my Discord community. It is a space of like-minded people where we're just hanging out, connecting, teaching, learning, and by the time this video is out, we'll have started a book club community where we're reading a specific book and just learning, just growing. So I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.